Welcome to Chris's Granite Paradise. The topic of today's video is ideas of what to do with circles, ovals, and cores from the granite countertop fabrication industry. Inspired by my dear subscriber, John Joyce. It might require some diplomatic creativity and maybe even a little bit of money, but chances are you can go to your local granite shop and work out an arrangement for them to give you their ovals, circles, cores from their CNC machines or that they drill by hand. To be perfectly honest with you, all or most of this material ends up in the landfill. So I would think that they would be amiable to giving it to you or selling it to you at a good price if you could make it easy for them in the sense that you go pick it up every so often. Something along those lines, just throwing out some ideas for you. Of course, as many of you know, I worked in the stone industry for most of my adult life, and that's how I was able to collect the amount that I have. Over about a 10-year period, of course, I rode my bike to and from work, and I had like saddlebags on my bike, and every day I would put a certain amount of these cores that you're seeing from when we would drill the faucets or when we would drill out the corners of pieces that are going to be shaped like an L. Oftentimes we would drill the corners with a larger bit so that the corner would be nice. Well, I would bring those home a little bit every day. My favorite pieces were always the 18-inch rounds, as we called them. It was a common bathroom vanity sink that it was a drop-in sink, and so they were cheap, I think, for the customers to buy and easy for me to cut out. And I have likely thousands of them. I've never counted the exact number, but here I am looking down into a sculpture. There's no end to these symmetrical patterns that you can accomplish, both with how you position them as well as organizing them by colors, as I did in this case. This particular sculpture is also built of 18-inch round circles. And here is a time lapse of me building it back in 2014. This clip was featured in the news interview with Denver's Channel 7 in March of that year. In more recent years, the granite shop that I was a part of acquired both a CNC machine for shaping and things of that nature, and also a CNC saw. And both of these machines would use a variety of core bit sizes to drill out the corners of, for example, a piece in your kitchen that might be shaped like an L. And these bits ranged from 2-inch all the way up to, I believe, 6-inch. I think most of what I have are the 2, 3, 4, and 5-inch sizes. And there's no end to what you could do with these because of the variety of sizes and also the variety of colors. And here we are looking at Jacob's ladder, which has a tremendous amount of rocks displayed on it, but it's a combination of two different sizes of oval sink cutouts and the 5-inch cores I was talking about. The part up above represents heaven, so it's made of white 18-inch rounds supported by the cores, and I haven't gone up there for a while. I need to go see what rocks I have up there. But you can see how useful these cores are in decorative purposes. For example, here you're seeing on the side, I wanted to give it a rope look, and the cores really helped out with that. I also used several hundred of them on the Tree of Life sculpture that was featured at the beginning of this video. And you can see I still have a lot left over. I just have them on the ground here, and that was a good place for me to pile the cores. We'll see what we come up with to do with them. Most of these appear to be in the 2 to 3-inch range. A special thanks and a shout out to my good friend Alan S. with his giant truck tire rock tumbler. Years ago, he tumbled a bunch of these cores and other unique pieces that would come off the machines, such as light socket cutouts. Those come out looking like a cross because I would drill the 4 corners and then pop the piece out. And that's how we would put, in this case it was a large light socket. And then we had the small ones as well that were just drilled with smaller cores. Very unique pieces gone through his rock tumbler. I call this sculpture the Christmas tree, and often when people with kids come by, I will let them choose a piece off of the Christmas tree, as if picking off a candy cane or a Christmas tree ornament for them to take home. And the bell tower sculpture out in the middle of the yard features rectangular sink cutouts that I had the method of drilling the 4 corners with a 2-inch bit and then cutting the 4 sides, and that would make the piece come out of the countertop much easier than the way we had done it previously, and it really gives a unique look for the sculpture. And I'm guessing it must be close to 10 years ago now, a neighbor and friend of ours hired my son, and I got involved a little bit, but my son did most of the work, building a couple of patios for her, and this was one of them, featuring circles of different sizes, and as you can see, filling in the spaces, a lot of cores, and then we used like a polymer concrete in between so that it would be flexible with the frost heaving that goes on. A special note here, any kind of granite or marble that you're going to use to be walking on, put the rough side up, and even still with your grinder, put some grooves and really rough up the surface as much as you can, because they are slick. The cores you can leave shiny as we did because they're small enough your foot won't slip on them. We had several varieties of sinks that were roughly rectangular in shape but had big round corners, and these I have used all around the yard as my pathways. And the same thing goes, rough up the surface as much as you can. You do not want to be slipping on these things. You will see I have one red one shiny side up just because it's so pretty. I really ought to turn it over though. Well, these are just a few uses that I have come up with for this material, and I'm sure you can come up with more. I hope to have inspired you onto some good ideas. I would love to hear about them in the comments. God bless you guys.